Former President Donald Trump sent shockwaves through global markets with a dramatic announcement that caught many by surprise and immediately became the top story on news channels worldwide. He imposed a sweeping 25% tariff on all imported cars and pharmaceuticals, a move that instantly raised the stakes in ongoing trade disputes and left importers scrambling to assess the impact. This aggressive move sent the stock market tumbling, with investors reacting swiftly to the uncertainty and potential for higher costs across multiple industries. The Nasdaq, S&P 500, and General Motors stock all experienced significant drops, reflecting widespread anxiety about the future of American business and the global economy. The tariffs took effect immediately, leaving businesses and consumers reeling from the sudden shift. Dealerships braced for price hikes, while pharmaceutical companies warned of possible shortages and delays. This unexpected move marked a significant escalation in Trump's trade war, signaling a willingness to take bold action even at the risk of international backlash and strained diplomatic relations. It targeted two crucial sectors of the global economy: automotive and pharmaceuticals, industries that touch the lives of millions and are deeply intertwined with international supply chains. The tariffs aim to protect American industries, with Trump promising that these measures will bring jobs back to the U.S. and reduce reliance on foreign goods. However, critics argue they could spark a trade war with devastating consequences, including retaliatory tariffs from other countries and disruptions to global commerce. The announcement sparked immediate concern among businesses and consumers, who now face the prospect of higher prices and uncertainty about the availability of essential products. Many worry about the impact on prices and the availability of essential goods, especially for families already struggling with healthcare costs and those in need of reliable transportation. The tariffs represent a gamble by Trump, betting that tough measures will force trading partners to negotiate better deals and ultimately benefit the U.S. economy. He believes they will revitalize American manufacturing, create new jobs, and restore the country's industrial strength, echoing his campaign promises to put America first. However, critics warn of unintended consequences that could harm the very people he aims to protect, as higher costs and potential job losses ripple through the economy, leaving many Americans uncertain about what comes next. Trump's decision to impose tariffs stems from his central campaign promise to revitalize American manufacturing and bring back jobs that have been lost over the past several decades. For years, many American communities have watched as factories closed their doors, jobs disappeared, and once thriving towns struggled to survive. Trump's message resonated with workers who felt left behind by globalization and shifting economic tides. He argued that for too long, unfair trade practices and lopsided agreements have hurt American workers and businesses, making it difficult for them to compete on a global scale. Many believe that these practices have led to stagnant wages and a shrinking middle class. Trump believes that countries like China have taken advantage of the United States by flooding American markets with cheap goods, often produced with lower labor costs and fewer regulations. He points to the closure of factories and the loss of millions of manufacturing jobs as clear evidence of the damage caused by these trade imbalances. Entire regions once known for their industrial strength have been hollowed out. The tariffs, in his view, are a necessary tool to level the playing field and protect American industries from unfair foreign competition. By making imported goods more expensive, he hopes to encourage consumers and companies to buy American-made products. He wants to force companies to move production back to the United States, creating new opportunities for American workers and reviving local economies that have suffered for years. The tariffs are a cornerstone of Trump's America First agenda, signaling a dramatic shift in U.S. trade policy and a renewed focus on domestic industry. He believes these measures will create jobs, boost wages, and restore American manufacturing to its former glory, making the country stronger and more self-reliant. Whether this gamble will pay off remains uncertain, but one thing is clear: Trump is willing to take bold and controversial measures to achieve his goals, sparking debate across the nation about the future of American industry and the best path forward. The reaction from economists to Trump's tariffs has been largely negative. Across the board, experts have voiced significant concerns about the potential fallout from these policies. Many economists have appeared on news programs and at conferences, warning that the long-term effects could outweigh any short-term gains. They point out that while the intention may be to strengthen the American economy, the reality could be far more complicated and damaging. While some acknowledge the president's desire to protect American jobs and industries, many fear the tariffs will do more harm than good. There is a real worry that industries relying on imported materials will face higher production costs, making it harder for them to compete both at home and abroad. Small businesses, in particular, may struggle to absorb these increased expenses, potentially leading to layoffs or closures. A key concern is the potential for higher prices for consumers. Everyday Americans could soon find that the cost of basic goods and services is rising, putting additional strain on household budgets. This is especially troubling for families already living paycheck to paycheck, as even small increases in prices can have a big impact on their quality of life. The tariffs will increase the costs of imported cars, pharmaceuticals, and a wide range of other products, including electronics and household appliances. As these goods become more expensive to bring into the country, companies will have little choice but to raise their prices to cover the added costs. These costs will likely be passed on to consumers in the form of higher prices at the checkout counter. For many, this could mean having to make tough choices about what to buy and what to leave behind, further tightening their spending. This could lead to inflation and reduce consumer spending, ultimately harming the economy. When people spend less, businesses earn less, which can result in slower economic growth and even job losses. The ripple effects could be felt across multiple sectors, from retail to manufacturing. Another concern is the risk of retaliation from other countries. Trade partners may not sit idly by, instead they could respond with their own tariffs on American goods, escalating tensions and making it even harder for U.S. businesses to sell their products overseas. If other nations respond by imposing their own tariffs on American goods, it could lead to a trade war that hurts businesses and consumers on all sides. Factories may close, jobs could be lost, and the overall economic climate could become much more uncertain. The interconnected nature of the global economy means that actions taken in one country can have far-reaching consequences. A single policy change can set off a chain reaction, affecting markets, jobs, and prices around the world. In today's globalized world, no nation is truly isolated from the economic decisions of others. The automotive industry is particularly vulnerable to Trump's tariffs. The United States imports a significant number of cars and car parts from countries like Mexico, Canada, and Japan. The tariffs will increase the costs of these imports, which could lead to higher prices for consumers. Analysts estimate that the tariffs could add thousands of dollars to the price of a new car. This could price some buyers out of the market altogether, leading to a decline in car sales. The tariffs could also disrupt supply chains, as manufacturers scramble to adjust to the new rules. The tariffs have created uncertainty in the auto industry, making it difficult for companies to plan for the future. The potential for higher costs and reduced sales has many in the industry on edge. The pharmaceutical industry is another sector that could be significantly impacted by Trump's tariffs. The United States imports a large percentage of its pharmaceuticals from other countries. The tariffs will increase the cost of these imports, which could lead to higher drug prices for American consumers. This is particularly concerning given the already high cost of prescription drugs in the United States. Many Americans struggle to afford their medications, and the tariffs could make this situation even worse. The tariffs could also lead to drug shortages if manufacturers are unable to find alternative sources for their products. This could have serious consequences for patients who rely on these medications to manage their health conditions. The international response to Trump's tariffs has been swift and largely negative. Key trading partners like Canada, Germany, and France have condemned the tariffs. They argue that they are protectionist and violate international trade rules. These countries have threatened to retaliate by imposing their own tariffs on American goods. This could lead to a tit-for-tat trade war that would harm businesses and consumers on all sides. The European Union, for example, has threatened to impose tariffs on American products like bourbon, Harley-Davidson motorcycles, and orange juice. The tariffs have strained relationships between the United States and its allies. They have also created uncertainty in the global economy. Many businesses are now hesitant to invest or make long-term plans. The long-term impact of Trump's tariffs remains to be seen. However, one thing is certain: these tariffs represent a significant gamble. While they have the potential to boost American manufacturing, they also carry the risk of higher prices for consumers, trade wars, and a slowdown in economic growth. Only time will tell whether the benefits of these tariffs outweigh the costs. The Federal Reserve has already downgraded its growth forecast for the U.S. economy, citing trade tensions as a major concern. The International Monetary Fund has also warned that the tariffs could harm global economic growth. The tariffs have been met with mixed reactions from different groups within the United States. Labor unions, such as the United Auto Workers, have largely supported the tariffs, hoping they will lead to more manufacturing jobs in the U.S.